people, how are you? Okay, going on with our book, we are going to page 62 today, lesson 5. Okay, let's start with the new content. Pottery, to knit, a knitting needle, a cathedral, cemetery, graveyard, horse drawn, a carriage, to bury, a gravestone, a burial, to bow, bowling, to crouch, to punch, to squat, to lift, a skittle, a dumbbell, clay, a bowl. Okay guys, so pottery is a general name that we give to dishes and bowls made from baked clay. Guys, clay is the last but one word. Clay is thick and heavy soil that is soft when it's wet, but if we bake it or when it's dried, it becomes very hard. Okay, in our kitchen we normally have things made of clay. Okay, clay is also used to make bricks. Okay, they put it in a form of a brick, and then they bake it to let it become hard. Okay, so pottery are things for the kitchen that are made of clay. Okay, to knit, people, is to make clothes using 2 long needles. Okay, and we use a thread of wool. Okay, and then we can make cardigans and pullovers. Okay, it's a cliche for knitting is grandmothers. Okay, grandmothers normally knit clothes, pullovers and scarves and other stuff with knitting needles, okay, for their grandchildren. A cathedral is the biggest and normally the main church in a city. Normally a cathedral is in a big city, okay, but not necessarily. A cathedral is not taken care by a priest, a common priest. Normally a bishop takes care of a cathedral, okay? It's a more important church than the others. A cemetery and a graveyard, people, are the same thing. Cemetery is just like Portuguese, okay, where we go after we die. And a graveyard is the same as a cemetery, but a graveyard is normally on the back of a church, okay? Horse-drawn is something that is pulled by horses, okay? Horse-drawn is a compound adjective and it means pulled by horses. The next word, carriage, is very similar to Portuguese, okay? It's a vehicle with 4 wheels and it's pulled by horses, okay? So we call this type of transport a horse-drawn carriage. But carriage can also mean, guys, one part of the train which is reserved for passengers. Okay, that's also called a carriage. Okay, so a part of the train for passengers, not cargo, not, okay? Not restaurant, so carriage for passengers. To bury, guys, is what we do to people after they die. Okay, we dig a hole on the ground and we bury the body of the dead person. A gravestone is literally that, a stone on a grave. It's very common, especially in Europe and in America. People write on a stone, okay, the name of the dead person, the date of birth, and the date of death of that person. Okay, and normally there is a sentence about the person, okay? That's a gravestone and it marks where the person was buried. A burial comes from the verb to bury, it's the noun. Burial is that moment, that ceremony that we do when we are putting our the person who died into the ground, when we are burying the person, a burial. To bowl is the verb. Bowling is the noun, the sport. Okay, bowling is like a big alley. It has some pins at the end. These pins, they are called skittles, okay? They look like big bottles, okay? And we use a ball. It's a very heavy ball. We put 3 or 4 fingers in it, okay? And we throw the ball, we roll the ball on the ground, and the objective is to hit all the skittles, okay? To crouch, people, is to be in a position when you bend your knees, okay, and you stay close to the floor, okay? This is to crouch. For example, when you need to talk to a small child, you need to crouch, okay, to look them into the eyes, okay? To punch is to hit someone with your closed hand, to punch, okay? To squat is a synonym of to crouch, but the verb to squat we use only when we are doing exercise, okay? Because to crouch we can do with any purpose, okay? We can crouch to, I don't know, we found some money on the floor, I have to crouch to take it. The other example I gave, we are talking to a small child. Okay, in order for them to listen to us, we have to crouch and be in the same height as they are, to look them in the eyes. Okay? To squat is the same movement, okay, but we use this verb when we are talking about exercising. So we use the verb to squat when we are at the gym, okay? To lift means to bring something to a higher position, to lift. A skittle is that bottle that I told you about that we use in bowling, okay? A dumbbell is a short bar, okay, normally made of metal, with 2 weights on the sides, okay? We use dumbbells to exercise our arms, okay, and to exercise our shoulders. So they help us to make the muscles of our arms and the muscles of our shoulders to be stronger, okay? I have explained clay at the beginning when I explained pottery, because pottery is made of clay. And a bowl is a round, deep container, okay, that we use, for example, to eat soup or to eat cereal in the morning, okay? It's a round and deep container, okay? Also, guys, when we are baking a cake, when we are preparing to bake a cake, we normally use a bowl, a big bowl, okay, to mix the ingredients, because it's easier, okay? Okay, people, let's repeat. Pottery is the skill of making something with clay, such as a bowl or a plate. How many squats did you do at the gym yesterday with the new dumbbells? The cemetery next to the cathedral was full of people waiting for the horse-drawn carriage to arrive. Many people knit as a way to relax and feel less stressed. The man bent down and crouched beside his wife's gravestone as he arranged the yellow flowers. My mother bows every Thursday, and lifting the weight of the balls has made her stronger. He punched the wall with anger as he watched the burial of his friend. Children like to crouch when they're playing on the floor, and adults have to bend down to talk to them. Okay guys, let's practice. Again, I will read both question and answer, and I'll leave 1 or 2 seconds for you to stop the video and repeat the answer to yourselves. What type of sports involve crouching? Sports that involve crouching are athletics, baseball, and bowling. Have you ever made any pottery? No, I have never made any pottery. In what time in history do you think it was common to travel by horse-drawn carriage? I think it was common to travel by horse-drawn carriages in the 16th century, before simpler forms of horse-drawn transport were used. Could you lift a 40-kilo weight easily and carry it for 1 kilometer? No, I couldn't lift a 40-kilo weight easily and carry it for 1 kilometer. What do people normally write on a gravestone? People normally write the name, the date of birth and death, and a phrase about the person of their position in their family. Do you know what is written on the famous singer Frank Sinatra's gravestone? Yes, I know what is written on the famous singer Frank Sinatra's gravestone. The best is yet to come. Where was the last King of England buried? The last King of England was buried in St. George's Chapel near Windsor Castle. Is there a difference between the sport bowling and bows? Yes, there is a difference between the sport bowling and bows. Bowling, you throw the bow and need to make the skittles fall over. Sorry, we throw the ball, okay? Whereas in bows, you need to slowly throw a ball to make it stop as close as possible to the other ball. How large a dumbbell do you think you could lift? I think I could lift a 5-kilo dumbbell. I'm not sure. Is it important for somebody who punches people because of anger, learns how to control their feelings? Yes, it is important for somebody who punches people because of anger, learns how to control their feelings. Sorry, guys. How long after a person dies does the burial happen in your country? In my country, the burial happens 1 day after a person dies. Why was the burglar crouching behind the trash can? The burglar was crouching behind the trash can because he didn't want anyone to see him. What is the difference between the words graveyard and cemetery? The difference between the words graveyard and cemetery is that although they both are places where we bury people who have died, a graveyard is normally next to a church, while a cemetery is a separate place. Do horror and mystery films sometimes include people digging graves? Yes, horror and mystery films sometimes include people digging graves. Are the train carriages in your country generally full at 7 a.m. in the morning? Yes, the train carriages in my country are generally full at 7 a.m. in the morning. What's the difference between a cathedral and a church? The difference between a cathedral and a church is that a cathedral has a bishop as its head, is much bigger than a church, and is normally only found in large cities. How many knitting needles do you need in order to knit a scarf? I need 2 knitting needles in order to knit a scarf. Which world-famous cathedral caught fire in 2019? The world-famous Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris caught fire in 2019. If my eraser fell under the table, would you need to crouch down in order to pick it up? Yes, if my eraser fell under the table, I would need to crouch down in order to pick it up. How can people make their arms and shoulders stronger? People can make their arms and shoulders stronger by lifting dumbbells. Are graveyards nice places to be at night? No, graveyards are not nice places to be at night. Okay guys, today we have dictation 4. Okay, so I will record it in a separate video. Okay, see you in a few moments.